Hey, you guys. So, as I'm healing on this journey, and I have a lot of grief that I am overcoming and alchemizing, I am a wounded healer, I am a gifted witch, as well as I'm an alchemizer. So, as I'm healing generational curses of grief and generational trauma of grief, and I have my own grief that I experienced, it's just allowing me to just simply become honest with myself about deep rooted issues that a lot of us are afraid to talk about. Now, a lot of the time when we think about sexual vampires, it's just this, it could be this blanket statement. But I've been doing research, I'm starting to see anyone can become a sexual vampire. This is why self-awareness and compassionate, gentle self-discipline and self-control is required. Let's discuss it. So, sexual vampires are most of the time fueled by abandonment issues that are, fueled by unhealed abandonment issues that have taken place in childhood, okay? So, for the most part, the codependency can come from that fear of feeling that severe loneliness, of feeling the emotional pains of not having your basic needs met. And for the most part, the root chakra of a sexual vampire is going to be extremely off balance. So, this is where they will experience stagnant poverty. Even if they could be in the entertainment industry and they can, consistently work and they may be well known, the fact that they don't have a balance of masculine and feminine energy, um, unhealed abandonment issues, contribute to codependency on making sure money is met because that fear that if they don't have money, they might not have, the love and the care that they wish they had had when they were children. So, stagnant poverty, even if it doesn't show up in money form, just how we view ourselves can be a form of stagnation. If we look at ourselves and we're like, there's something wrong with me today, this is where we're being asked to heal parts of ourselves where someone created an insecurity that doesn't even exist. Oh, you got a lump on your thigh. Oh my gosh. And then you're self conscious for years. Oh, your skin's too light, it's too dark. All these unnecessary things. Sexual vampires, when they experience stagnant poverty in whatever area it's showing up in, based off of different things, they will project that into you because literally the pain of childhood, it's like they're carrying it around, And then we have uncontrolled rage because what we have in our vibration shows up in our external life. The fact that they're not willing to heal these things, the pain and the consistent lack of experience of care that they wish they had had can show up in sexual vampires targeting people who represent the mother figure or the father figure that they wish they had. And this is where abuse will show up, where codependency is prevalent. So if you are actively healing from, being with a sexual vampire, if you're able to realize that you could have been a sexual vampire, emotional, sexual energy vampire, but you chose to constantly be considerate of others and to make sure that you were conscious of how you treated others, you're not a sexual vampire. You know what I'm saying? If you're starting to realize that even if you have experienced poverty, that you still take the time to try to get yourself out of it, even if it takes longer than you'd like, you're not a sexual vampire. If you understand that rage is within you based off of the trauma you've experienced, but you're consciously choosing to alchemize that into creativity, you're not a sexual vampire. If you're realizing that you desire someone, but it's like, you have to be patient to be with them and you're expressing how you desire them, you're not a sexual vampire. You're just like simply expressing desire, which is normal and a part of humanness. However, when codependency is present with sexual vampires, 9 times out of 10, abuse will be present. So let's get some messages from the cards. We have divine lineage, 6, intuition, feeling safe, and liberation. So when you can become aware of identifying a sexual vampire, you know, by learning to trust your intuition, by learning to identify what it is that you need to feel safe, by connecting with your intuition, this can liberate you and basically help you form an empire, a nation of individuals who will be free from the abuse called codependency that most oftentimes shows up as sexual vampires. This is where a lot of women, they start to when they're pregnant from sexual vampires, they start to realize that their partners are highly abusive when they're at their most vulnerable parts. And we have intuition and feeling safe. If in this moment you realize you are healing from dating a sexual vampire, or possibly with the sexual vampire, trust your intuition. It will tell you what you need to do to free yourself, and so that you can balance your root chakra. Okay, I'm not gonna act as if it's easy, because as a divine feminine, when you're receiving pleasure or when you're receiving the energy of a lover, it can take a while to process, a little longer than the masculine energy, what's taking place. But when you do start to realize it, please be gentle with yourself, because this is a point in time, where a lot of individuals are starting to realize that they're in abusive relationships. And codependency, it's like when you break away from codependency, you get that narcissistic wound, where isolation, isolation issues can show up, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you'll be doing your very best to, in the beginning, when you're healing codependency, you may not want to feel the uncomfortable emotions of the hardness of codependency, and it can really be jarring. You may start to wonder if you're just like the narcissist who's a sexual vampire, because they projected these things onto you, even if they didn't say it. With duality, the frequency of duality supports our ability to gracefully flow with the everlasting movement among all opposites. In these moments, as you're learning who you are and who you want to be with the solar plexus, when you're connected to your sacral chakra, with emotions in the sensual world, allow yourself to feel the pangs of disappointment, instead of acting on it and well, we have to make this happen, we have to do this now. Literally understand that the disappointment that you feel, okay, that's part of being human, and then go and do something, create something, because the feeling too shall pass. You know what I'm saying? All right, we have kindness. The energy of kindness reminds us to be considerate and wise in our interactions with others and ourselves, and to find the root of our love through our connection to Source. So in these moments, when you're healing from the narcissistic wound, after having dealt with a narcissistic sexual vampire, it's going to be very wise to be very kind to yourself. Find ways to connect to Source that brings you joy, that brings you happiness and well-being, that raises your vibration, that helps transform the old to make room for the new with transformation. You know what I'm saying? Because in those times, the emotions that you're releasing, also you're releasing generational baggage. You're also healing your children during this time, especially if you're a mother. If you have children, it can, you may think, am I just like the person that I left? No, you're not. You're simply accepting the human part of the spiritual healing. Okay, healing is not easy. Healing is a slow process, and I have tried to rush releasing negative emotions deep within me, and I got hospitalized trying to heal 30 years of trauma in one night. And I finally accepted shit. I just need to simply go slow and steady. And that means I feel the uncomfortable emotions, and I learned to sometimes sit still. Like, this is one of my favorite crystals. It has rose quartz and amethyst, and this wood is very sacred. And sometimes I simply remind myself to sit still. When I start feeling the emotions come up, from very uncomfortable aspects of childhood and abusive relationships I've left, and also not being with my kids. I have a moonstone. I even have a black onyx, and I use these, because it allows me to not, take on the projections of sexual vampires who I was once with. And, during the act of sex, 11:11, you can release a lot of emotional energy into someone, and to cleanse out the sacral chakra after having dealt with a sexual vampire takes time. So trust this process, okay, as you're going through it. It's not easy, especially if you're like maybe a single mom healing from an abusive relationship, and you might be taking care of your kids by yourself in this moment, and you might be trying to wonder, how am I going to honor my sacred sexuality and things like that. All that will come in time. And during those moments, you're still going to be having to take care of the kids and having to take care of yourself, and the emotions are going to be present, the uncomfortability, all the unspoken things that was not said during interactions with the sexual vampire. We have the Wheel of Fortune, you beautiful, lovely souls. We have the Fool. We also have the Knight of Cups. And then we also have the Six of Wands. So I guess basically to conclude this beautiful message, you guys, healing from a sexual vampire, it's like you get blessed with this brand new beginning. You get blessed with this, like the Wheel of Fortune and the Fool. When you accept the truth of what has taken place and how your healing journey is as unique as you are, your healing journey can sometimes, with the Knight of Cups, there can be difficulty with also the Nine of Wands here. There can be difficulty making peace with the emotions, the uncomfortable emotions that have come from with this Two of Pentacles, with juggling belief systems that aren't yours. And as you're cleansing out your sacral chakra, you'll be starting to notice, hey, I don't agree with this. But why am I still feeling these emotions? That's just part of the human journey. I'm a Cancer moon. I wish I could tell you guys, okay, so this is how you don't feel emotions. Part of the spiritual experience is feeling uncomfortable emotions and self-mastering yourself to be able to just calmly get through the very difficult times. You have the Six of Wands and the Moon. And, when we are going through the unknown, we do not know what's going to come out of this. But I would say, if you are on this journey, beautiful, lovely souls, the wisdom that you are going to derive from, having an experience with sexual vampires in general, it's like you're going to be surprised where this leads you to. With the Moon, it's like when you're going through the uncomfortability of the emotions, it's like sometimes, I'll be honest, this is what it feels like for me. Like, inside, it's what it feels like, but outside, I'm like, but inside, I'm just like, so I've started doing breathing exercises. Like literally, let's also get a self-care card. I mean, I'm even going to start working out. I started doing yoga. My ancestors kept telling me, do yoga, do yoga. I got a book to learn palmistry at this point. It's like I'm keeping myself busy because, like, my sacral chakra is cleansing itself after, Now, believing in new beginnings and my thoughts are powerful. So, new beginnings may not always feel like, these illusionary movies have told us, like, oh my gosh, I got a new beginning. Self mastery is of the utmost, because when that sacral chakra is releasing sexual energy from toxic vampires of the past, while you're preparing to get high vibrational sex, you're gonna sometimes be like, you may have feel rage when you start to realize the truth of the interactions with past people and things like that. And this is where self-mastery comes in. It shows up differently for everybody. With believing in new beginnings, I am the director of my life and understand the healing power of new beginnings. And with my thoughts are powerful. As I am aware of the power of my thoughts, I am able to create my dream life. So when you are feeling these uncomfortable emotions, you see how she's just like, make some beauty out of it. Shit, I'm making a video letting you guys know what my actual journey is like. I'm letting you guys know, and be mindful that when you are releasing the energy of sexual vampires, they're going to try, they in their minds, they're like, I love this person, I can't let this person go who cut cords with me. But in reality, they're disconnected from self-love, so their idea of love is not compatible with pure love. So it's like literally getting back with the sexual vampire is like opening a door for your generations to just be abused again. So when you are feeling the uncomfortability of a sexual vampire, emotional vampire that you're walking away from, pulling on you, however, because I'm a Cancer moon, I feel everything. Take that time to create something, all right? Take that time to be so gentle with yourself, because more than likely, 10 times out of 10, that sexual vampire was not gentle with you. In these moments, you learning to be gentle with yourself will help easily clear out your sacral chakra, okay? So we're going to play a little Reiki, and I hope this helps you guys, and thank you for being present. I hope that helped you guys. Tell me what you guys think from your personal experiences, because I love to hear about it. There's a beautiful mom that comments on one of my videos, and she's so brave, and I don't remember names, but if you feel that I'm talking to you, I want to say I love you, and I hope that you can do this. Like, you were born to do this, and you're a really good mom. And the fact that you're able to acknowledge what the truth about stuff, I really am so proud of you in every way possible.